Hi, this is Brad Constantine, and this is a podcast recording of the Old Testament. Although this is not an official recording of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, every effort's been made to be as doctrinally accurate as possible. I'll be using for the text the Joseph Smith translation of the Old Testament, along with many commentaries from general authorities of the Church, BYU professors, Bible scholars, and others. This format will be very detailed, and so if you want a deep analysis of the Old Testament, you come to the right place. Thanks for your attendance. Hi, welcome back. This will be for Ezekiel chapter 10. I'm going to read the heading first. He sees in vision as aforetime the wheels and the cherubims and the throne and the glory of God. Ezekiel's description in chapter 10 of a later vision contains many elements that correspond to the vision described in chapter 1. Compare items to similar ones in the first account. A significant difference in chapter 10 is the frequent reference to cherubim. The substitution of the face of a cherub in chapter 10 for the face of an ox in chapter 1 raises a question of interpretation. If the faces represent various classes of living creatures in God's kingdom that function in harmony with His will, the problem is not difficult. The cherub, which is an angelic servant of God, is in the same category with all living creatures that serve God. In fact, all of the creatures Ezekiel saw are referred to as cherubim. All follow the dictates of His Spirit and perform His work. Ezekiel 10:12 tells of eyes on the body, backs, hands, and wings of the cherubim and on the wheels. These eyes represent light and knowledge. All creatures who serve God with complete dedication may have the blessing of receiving the light of Christ, by which Spirit they function in complete harmony agreeable to His will. That was out of the manual. Verse 1, Then I looked, and behold, in the firmament that was above the head of the cherubims, there appeared over them as it were a sapphire stone, as the appearance of the likeness of a throne. Elder McConkie said, apparently a cherub is an angel of some particular order or rank to whom specific duties and work are assigned. That portion of the Lord's Word which is now available among men does not set forth clearly either the identity or work of these heavenly beings. In English, the plural of cherub is cherubs. In Hebrew, the plural is cherubim, except that the King James Version of the Bible erroneously translates the plural as cherubims. The Book of Mormon, the Pearl of Great Price, and the Joseph Smith translation of the Bible give the plural as cherubim. Verse 2, And he spake unto the man clothed with linen, and said, Go in between the wheels, even unto the cherub, and fill thine hand with coals of fire from between the cherubims, and scatter them over this city, the judgments and burning of the city. And he went in my sight. I'm going to do what the Joseph Smith's translation is supposed to be. Now the cherubim stood on the right side of the house when the man went in, and the cloud filled the inner court. Then the glory of the Lord went up from the cherub and stood over the threshold of the house, and the house was filled with the cloud. And the court was full of the brightness of the Lord's glory, and the sound of the cherubim wings was heard over even to the outer court, as the voice of the Almighty God when He speaketh. And it came to pass that when he had commanded the man clothed with linen, saying, Take fire from between the wheels, from between the cherubim, then he went in and stood beside the wheels. And one cherubim stretched forth his hand from, or I guess it is cherub, isn't it? And one cherub stretched forth his hand from between the cherubim unto the fire that was between the cherubim, and took thereof, and put it into the hands of him that was clothed with linen, who took it and went out. And there appeared in the cherubim the form of a man's hand under their wings. And when I looked, behold, the four wheels by the cherubim, one wheel by one cherub, and another wheel by another cherub, and the appearance of the wheels was as the color of a beryl stone. And as for their appearance, they four had one likeness, as if a wheel had been in the midst of a wheel. When they went upon their four sides, or towards any one of their four directions. They turned not as they went, but to the place whither the head looked, they followed it. They turned not as they went. And their whole body, and their backs, and their hands, and their wings, and their wheels were full of eyes round about, even the wheels that they four had. As for the wheels, it was cried unto them in my hearing, O wheel. And every one had four faces. The first face was the face of a cherub, and the second face was the face of a man, and the third was the face of a lion, and the fourth the face of an eagle. Remember I mentioned before that these particular symbols, the cherub, which would be, that's an angel, but the man, the ox, and the lion represent, or the eagle could represent some of the tribes of Israel. The eagle being Dan, the lion being Judah, and the man being Reuben. Yeah, Reuben. Verse 15, And the cherubim were lifted up, or mounted. This is the living creature that I saw by the river of Chebar. And when the cherubim went, the wheels went by them, and when the cherubim lifted up their wings to mount up from the earth, the same wheels also turned not from beside them. And when they stood, these stood, and when they were lifted up, these lifted up themselves also upon the Spirit, for the Spirit of the living creature was in them. Then the glory of the Lord departed from off the threshold of the house, and stood over the cherubim. And the cherubim lifted up their wings, and mounted up from the earth in my sight. When they went out, the wheels also were beside them, and every one stood at the door of the east gate of the Lord's house, and the glory of the Lord and the glory of the God of Israel was over them above. This is the living creature that I saw under the God of Israel by the river of Chebar, and I knew that they were the cherubim. Every one had 4 faces apiece, and every one 4 wings, and the likeness of the hands of a man was under their wings, and the likeness of their faces was the same faces which I saw by the river of Chebar. Their appearances in themselves, they went every one straight forward. So this is kind of an interesting vision that he's seeing here. Not quite sure what it means, but anyway, maybe someday the Lord will reveal it to us. Anyway, see you next time. Bye.